Thrawn is back in Star Wars in live action for the first time. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the even more exciting thing, which is what Baylan is actually up to. Welcome to Star Wars Uplink. Episode 6 of Ahsoka, Far, Far Away, had all of these semblances of basically everything that I want out of a Star Wars project. It had the highs, it had some of the lows, unfortunately, but more highs than lows, that is for sure, and one of those was the awesomeness with Thrawn, and just the whole realization that he's back. He might be a little wounded, but he is back.
What an entrance. What a way to start episode 6. And we've still got 2 more episodes to go.
2 more to go.
I'm kind of surprised we get all the people, now, but also at the same time, yeah.
I was half expecting them, though, not to have Thrawn until, the last episode.
Yeah, same. It kind of would have made some sense, I think, to just,
It kind of felt like that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of show that they were telling.
Mm-hmm. They were going to, just, build it up, and then, bam! There's Thrawn! And gets you.
Okay, bye.
Make sure that there's a season 2, guys. Okay, so we saw everyone, but that doesn't mean we know what's going on.
Yeah, there's still a lot left to be wondered. There's a lot of variety here. There's the whole stuff with Thrawn. There's the whole stuff with the Night Sisters. There's the whole stuff with Baylan. There's the whole stuff with Sabine and Ezra. There's the whole stuff with Ahsoka. There's the War, the New Republic. All of these pieces are in Ahsoka. I knew this, but having it listed out like that is just wild to think about. That's the scale of the story that they're telling. They are truly setting up the future of Star Wars with this one series. Mm-hmm. While I think Mando did a good job of expanding the Star Wars galaxy, Ahsoka is making sure that they're setting the future of the Star Wars galaxy.
And I mean, we already know what the future is, so it is kind of filling in a gap.
We don't know what the future of this time gap is.
Yes, this is a very untalked about moment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have to assume that Thrawn's going to get back.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I guess that has to happen. I feel like maybe that's where the season ends, is that, and then they set up, they set up whatever's happening next, whether that be Mando Season 4 or another series of Ahsoka, or maybe what we see in Skeleton Crew, who knows?
Yep.
But there is definitely something going on where they want to set up something more than just having Ahsoka be this self-contained series. But something interesting here is what we found out to be Balin Skoll's actual motivation. He said this the last episode, I think it was, or maybe it was the episode before that, but talking about what true power was. And he mentioned it again in this episode, and he's looking to go back to the beginning, to stop the cycle. To stop the rise of the Jedi and the fall of the Jedi, the rise of the Empire and the fall of the Empire, and again and again and again. He wants to stop that. Mm-hmm. And it has something to do with the planet that they're on in this galaxy, the birthplace of the Night Sisters, the Purgle's graveyard. And now the planet itself is a graveyard for the Night Sisters and various bandits, and also Thrawn and Ezra. So there's all of these pieces that are guiding them to this place. And something sparked his interest and basically categorized it as he had a theory, hypothesis. And now he has it proven with the existence of the Night Sisters and having this temple of the Night Sisters.
What's that?
Well, he said that basically having the 3 grandmothers there is proof of his theory, how there's something bigger going on. Something is calling him. Can you see it? Can you hear it? Kind of thing.
Yes. I also like the mention about, the olden times, how this is the place where the old stories and the folk tales were started. It's
this is the in-universe legends.
This is interesting. So there is something here that he might not necessarily believe, but he knows that there is something. And I don't know. Do we know what this story is that he's chasing?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I think it's something It might have something to do with Legends, but I think it has more to do with where Dave Filoni wants to go. Because obviously there's a lot of Dave Filoni in this.
Oh, yeah.
The whole idea of everything is very indicative of who's creating it. And I feel like Baylan is very much looking for the source of everything. Like, if this is the original galaxy of the Star Wars galaxy, this could be tying back to what will eventually tie into the Dawn of the Jedi movie. Like, there could be something along those lines that is bringing a variety of these stories, the folktales, the origins of more than just... Because the Night Sisters use a version of the Force. So if they had the Force in that galaxy, I think Obi-Wan says in A New Hope that the Force is something within the galaxy. It's within all living things, that it binds us together. There could be something even bigger than we expect or expected that is housed on this planet. I'm getting big like Jedi Fallen Order vibes, honestly.
It's almost like this planet is a shell to something more. You get this feeling that it's like a barren wasteland, what they call it, and it's not. It's even more going on. It's even indicative to the creatures that are on it, like these creatures that live inside a shell. It's like, this is kind of what we're alluding to. Like, there is something that just needs to be cracked open. Very interesting that a ex-Jedi wants to stop the cycle of like good versus evil sort of thing. Like, he's kind of like, I'm done with this game. I'm curious to know like what kind of power he's looking for, because that seems to be what it is. Like, it's whenever his Padawan's going on about like, oh my gosh, like, should we join up with Thrawn? Isn't that the kind of power that we want?
Isn't it our turn now?
He's like, no.
That's temporary.
That's child's game. Please.
That's part of the cycle. That's part of things going around and around in this endless cycle. But it seems like this is the outside force, this is the outside power that's coming into this machine. Not
to be a downer against him, but it's got to fail, right? Because we're still getting that cycle,
but in a way that
we haven't seen yet in the Star Wars universe.
That's the struggle with something like this. It's a struggle that the prequels had, where they were telling a story that we already knew the end to. Well, we don't know the end to these characters and the stories. We do know that eventually the sequels happen, and the galaxy does end up going back to war, and ends up fulfilling a lot of the same mistakes as well as the same paths that we had seen before. I mean, The Force Awakens is basically A New Hope.
Yeah.
And that's what Baylan is saying, is the galaxy is in this cycle, and he's trying to find a way to break that cycle. Maybe he breaks it for a little while. Maybe. And that's why it takes so long for that cycle to kick back up again. But I do wonder what the ultimate goal is. And I think that's the more exciting thing. I love seeing Thrawn, but having Baylan there, having this ulterior motive and this different perspective and different view of that planet that they're on, that Thrawn is so desperate to escape, and you have Baylan like, no, there's something here, something's calling. Yeah, I feel like Baylan has the foresight to be able to be like, okay, Thrawn would totally ditch me. It's fine. Yeah. But he also knows that, like, no, there's a power to this place that I'm going to unlock this. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to go back. Like, this is where I need to be. Yeah. Very interesting. Also very interesting, I mean, not to, like, get off topic, but, like, that Sabine and Ezra are kind of like, I mean, Sabine's kind of, like, making terms with herself, be like, if I'm stuck here, okay, I've got Ezra. Ezra doesn't know a thing, so he's going to be a little ticked off, I think. Ezra's like, yeah, we're going back home because you got here, so obviously you have a way back, right? Yeah, but let us know your thoughts on these theories that we have here today, and what your thoughts are or were on that episode, because I feel like there is so much there, so much lore. And let us know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, do all the things. Check out our podcast, and may the Force be with you.